This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
We all attract a different market. So there are people who would not work with me, but they would work, I don't know, with someone else. So it's got nothing to do with looks. As much as looks help, it really doesn't come down to looks with Facebook.
Hi, my name is Igor Kheifets, and this is The List Building Lifestyle, the only podcast which delivers cutting-edge conversion strategies from the online trenches straight to your earbuds. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. I also invite you to grab a free copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. And now, once again, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle. Welcome back to another edition of the List Building Lifestyle with your host, Igor Kheifets. And today's episode is a very special one because I've invited the enemy. That's right. Today I'm hosting Chiara Francica, who is a social media marketer, specifically Facebook and YouTube marketer. And she claims to have made more than $100,000 on Facebook last year, which means she made more money just chilling on Facebook than most people ever make on their day job within 2 or 3 years sometimes. So, Chiara, thank you so much for being here. And are you ready for some ass whooping?
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. So, first off, just before we begin and before I grill you real bad, do you mind introducing yourself and sharing your story as to how did you arrive at this place in your life where you have to do something as silly as social media marketing?
All right. So first and foremost, before I introduce myself, I don't chill on Facebook. I actually work. All right. So basically, I had a normal office job. I was an HR professional for over 3 years. And what happened was, over 3 years, I was always ambitious. So I always, wanted a better position in the company, but there was never that much room for growth everywhere I worked around here. But I had 2 main jobs, really. But, there's always there was just never room for growth, whereas if there is, they give you a miserable raise and whatnot. But I was just tired of, my ambition being trampled on. And every time I wanted to share ideas on how to better things in the company, they were disregarded or they would listen and not do anything. So I got to a point where I was just like, enough is enough. I was tired of working for people telling me what to do and I don't want to do it. Or I'd be the jack of all trades when I was supposed to be an HR professional. So I decided, no, enough was enough. What happened was I was asked to actually leave because I was so tired of working in this particular company that, we just had a, how would you say, like an argument, and I was let go. So I decided instead of looking for another job, do a temporary job. And my brothers at the time needed someone. I was getting a lesser salary, but I thought it was worth the risk. So at the time, what I did was instead of actually continuing my role in HR, I took the risk of just forgetting all about it, doing a temporary job and working as much as I possibly can and as hard as I can on making this internet marketing thing work. So I spent 14 months trying to figure it out. I tried many traffic strategies. Like most people, I was overwhelmed, confused, going in the wrong direction. And then all of a sudden, I had that aha moment. I started working with 2 or 3 professionals on a specific program. And within 45 days, I had my first 10K. And I decided, and what happened was I had decided, go with Facebook marketing, so free Facebook strategies, not paid advertising. And that's how I broke my first 10K and made up to 100K online. So yeah, that's how I've arrived to this point today.
Wait, so you're telling me you said I don't really chill on Facebook, I work. Well, what? What's work? Please describe your work.
All right. So you have the admin-oriented tasks, which you can outsource, like, sending the initial messages to people where you get in touch organically. And then you have to build relationships through messaging and then through content. So the actual work comes in when you're creating the content. Well, in my case, when I'm creating the content, to get people to get attracted to me. So most people on Facebook, when they say they're doing Facebook marketing, you see them doing it the wrong way, and they're not actually creating content that's going to draw people to them in order to want to work with them. But me, my actual work, when I say I work, I'm actually always thinking of ways to create content in the form of Facebook posts, which are going to get people to resonate with me as a marketer and want to partner with me.
Wait. So are you not one of those people that, compulsively adds people as friends and then, looks like a beggar when she reaches out to them asking to buy her opportunity?
Absolutely not. On the complete contrary, that's not how I roll with Facebook. Definitely not. It's all about actually giving first, and then, the sales just flood in later.
You mean like flood in like with paid traffic, what we do here, or flood in as you have to like talk to a gazillion people all the same time and which would drive you nuts and, deal with objections and rejection and stuff like that?
So, no.
No rejection.
No. Like everyone, you do deal with rejection and with objections. Every strategy has its downfall. With Facebook, it's still a numbers game. But what I do is I'm more of an attraction marketer. So through the way I post on Facebook, people ask how they can work with me. So it's all about the way you position yourself and how you're coming across to people on Facebook. How are you standing out in their newsfeed? And that's what gets people to message me and ask me for more information. I also create posts and content, telling people, this is what I'm working on. You can send me a message and ask me how you can work with me and start, duplicating what I do.
Right. So you're putting stuff out there, like putting bait out there to have people reach out to you so they initiate the sales conversation, putting you, in a very profitable position.
Exactly. So basically what I do is I make people look up to me. So you can look at it this way so that we can use your language, Igor. You know how you send out emails on a daily basis or every 2 days?
Daily. We email daily.
All right, daily. Not everyone emails daily though.
But they should.
They should. I agree with you. The money is definitely in the follow-up. And it's the same with Facebook. Instead of emails, we do Facebook posts. So instead of getting people to click on a link, and sometimes you can't put a link, you just need to mask it and, brand it with your name, whatever. But instead, we do the Facebook post instead of the email. And that's how we get people to message us, us Facebook marketers, so to speak, your enemies.
Wait a second, but there's a core difference between Facebook posts and emails. You see, with email, I know that I'm hitting really targeted people that got my list in the first place, who I segmented through my squeeze page. When you do a Facebook post, you reach 7% of all your friends and their friends' friends, whatever. And how do you know they're even targeted? Like, you're almost sticking your finger into the phone book, trying to randomly reach strangers that have no idea who you are and what do you talk about?
All right. So no. First and foremost, with the Facebook profile, the percentage varies for each person. So if you're creating content that is targeting your audience, and I'll speak about the audience in a minute because you mentioned that as well. If you're creating content every day that targets your specific audience, then you're going to get engagement on your posts. And if Facebook sees that your audience is engaging in your posts, then each time you post, you will notice that engagement increases. In fact, over time, I have my engagement has increased drastically because I'm always posting stuff out there that attracts my audience. Now, the people that I'm connected to, I am not connected to anyone. I'm very, very, actually, I am so picky about how I connect to. Like, before I message anyone or I send a friend request and I start building a relationship, I profile the people, or I get very specific on the kind of groups that I, the groups that I go to and reach out to people to get connected to. So I make sure that they're people who already are in MLMs or who know what internet marketing is at least, so that when I'm creating content around these topics, they know what I'm talking about.
Okay. But what would you say to someone, me, for example, that questions this tactic, like profiling people and then reaching out to them, and says that you're special here because you're young and you're beautiful? What if, you're an old guy and you're kind of ugly? Like, who would befriend you?
Okay, it could be that it does. Okay, it is a factor that helps, but there are people that I have students who are not all beautiful or who are not all young, and they put in the work and they actually get results. Because the thing is, we all attract different people. There are some people that do not want to work with me at all. Like they look at me as this young, I don't know, this young chick and just wants to have fun maybe. But there are people that simply do not want to work with me at all costs. And they would have been connected with me for ages. Then, for example, I get a student in and they start doing the same tactic, but they resonate more with their value, their profile, and their lifestyle. So say someone that's maybe more family oriented than I am, they would resonate more with his kind of stuff. And it's all about, we all attract a different market. So there are people who would not work with me, but they would work, I don't know, with someone else. So it's got nothing to do with looks. As much as looks help, it really doesn't come down to looks with Facebook.
Maybe I can try this thing after all. There's a reason why I do the podcast audio only, no video.
Yeah, I see you post on Facebook, so it must work.
Yeah, I've been playing around with some Facebook posts recently, doing some videos. And I got to tell you, a lot of things you're saying here resonate with me. But there's one thing that I believe we need to discuss, and that is the content, which, appears to be the secret sauce. If it's not the looks, if it's not the energy, if it's not, any technicalities, then it has to be the content you're putting out. So what type of content are you putting out?
So the content you put on Facebook. All right. So what people need to understand with Facebook is one thing. People are not only coming onto Facebook because they want business tactics all the time or business tips. People go onto Facebook for entertainment reasons. So what I post on Facebook is basically a balance of value and getting them to know me and like me easily. Now, the way I get them to know and like me easily, first and foremost, is through my lifestyle photos. Now, I've traveled, but before I've traveled, I was in Malta working a 9 to 5. So I made use of what I had. So my family, my brother's dog, things that people resonate with. Because unfortunately, too many marketers are trying to position themselves as a guru, even if they don't have results. And people just don't resonate with that. Like, you need to sell the idea that they can do it too. So if they can relate to you as a human being first, then when you provide the value and position yourself as an authority, then that's when they start approaching you, when you can balance out those two. So what you need to be posting on Facebook. So definitely you want to post pictures where you're letting them in on your life. So I post photos with my family. I've posted photos when I'm in Malta. So if I'm out, I'll just take a photo. My camera is always with me. I'm always taking photos. You just need your phone. Also, I post lots and lots of videos. So every week I post 4 to 5, and video is very powerful. So you don't need to be anywhere special. You don't need to be on some tropical island in Thailand. I do most of my videos inside my house, and they get me a ton of engagement, because what happens is when people watch you on video, even if it's just a simple video where you're with your family and you just take a video of what's happening on the day with your family, like an event, they start seeing you as a friend, because you're just letting them in on your life. Literally, when they can see you, when they can see you express yourself, when they can see you be yourself, it's like they met a friend. So people talk to me like they've known me for ages, and I would have no idea who they are just because I post videos. Another thing, and this is super mega powerful, is now there is Facebook Live. So I like to call it the new toy of the internet. Before it was Google Hangouts. But when people can see that they can watch you in the moment live on Facebook, that is super mega powerful. So what I do is I share value, and I let people question me, 4 times a week, say on Facebook Live. Other things are, a ton of value. So even if you get results, don't just brag about your results, share some content, some value that's going to help people achieve the same results as you. Because when you do that, what happens is they start trusting you more. So, this is how I see it. If I go out to, let's say I go to two stores and I want to buy a new TV. If one guy starts explaining, all the details and how the TV works and whatnot, why it's a better quality than other TVs, and you have another guy in another store, another salesperson, in another store who's just pitching you and just trying to sell you and is this pushy salesperson, automatically I would go to the person who knows what they're talking about and who's trying to help me understand how the TV works and whatnot. That's how we automatically, that's how we trust people. We're wired to trust the people that want to show us how things work. So that's why you want to be posting value. And that's how you become an attraction marketer.
Okay, fair enough. But what if we don't have results? What if someone listening to this does not literally started out yesterday? What type of posts would you recommend they do?
All right. So I started with no results. And what I did was I would apply the learn, do, teach principle. So in the beginning, the person would really need to focus on simply as coming across as an authority. And the way you do that is apply the learn, do, teach principle. So what they could do is they could go, for example, on YouTube and learn ways on how to, either, for example, get leads with Facebook. Okay. So I'm just going to use the same example of Facebook. Now, getting leads with Facebook. All right. They can get leads with Facebook. Those are results. And what they would do is they would teach, for example, people how to get 10 free leads using Facebook. They would do a video on that. There are lots of people out there struggling to get leads, and there are lots of people that would kill to learn how to get 10 free targeted leads. So that would be a great piece of content that they can put out. And that would position them as an authority and get people asking them for more information. That's how I started. So what I recommend is either 3 to 5 minute videos where they're teaching stuff to people about the market, or just content pieces where they write, it would be like a blog post, but it would be a Facebook post instead. And they would post it, sharing tips on how people can, generate better leads, for example.
Interesting. Can you talk a little bit more about the learn, do, teach principle to make sure list builders really, really pick up on it?
All right. So learn, do, teach. So basically, the first thing is you go learn something. So, pick a topic. So let's take another example. Let's say branding. Okay. A lot of people struggle to brand themselves. So, they would say, go on YouTube and start looking for ways to teach people how to brand themselves better. So when they're taking notes, they need to take notes that obviously are going to help them create the content to help people create a better brand. The next thing is to do it. So they need to do it. They need to be leaders, right? So they need to start applying what they're learning. So they start branding themselves and applying the notes that they took. And then next they want to teach it. So they would teach people what they have done to come across as a better brand, whatever social media channel they're using, of course. And that is the learn, do, teach principle. And honestly, it's worked for me and it's worked for many others that started with no results.
So in other words, you're saying focusing on teaching something that doesn't necessarily revolve around money. It can be something that revolves around the technical side of the business or perhaps the philosophies of the business, but not necessarily here's how I made $1 gazillion yesterday using Facebook.
Exactly. I mean, many people don't start with the sales conversion pain point. People start with other pain points. Some people want to learn how to build a blog. If you go on YouTube, you can learn how to build a blog just from watching YouTube videos. I learned how to build a blog from watching YouTube videos, even though blogging is not my specialty, but the content is out there. There's a wealth of information out there. People just need to use it and teach it. So it's just a matter of targeting other pain points before they get the results, so to speak.
Wow. Okay. Well, to be honest, you sort of dumbed it down for us. I mean, sounds like Facebook marketing ain't such a rocket science after all, because, I was always looking at social media where it's like 99.9% of people try to appear successful, but in reality, they're just phonies. And there's like 1% or maybe even 0.5% that really make a killing. And so I appreciate you coming down and really demystifying the whole thing. So, guys, if you want to work with Chiara, whether with regards to social media coaching, because I know she offers it, or whether to join her in her business opportunity, head over to workwithchiara.info, and Chiara is Chiara. Or you can hit her up on Facebook. She's friends with me, so you can look her up on Facebook, and if you and I are friends, then she will pop up real quick. So, Chiara, any last piece of advice you would like to share with the list builders?
Well, I can share a piece of advice. I mean, it applies a lot with Facebook. Could be it applies with the list builders as well. But basically, the most important thing I believe in social media, especially, is being different. So what is everyone doing? Because most of the people are getting it wrong. A lot of people are struggling or they're not being taught the right way. So just be different. For example, with Facebook, a lot of people are still spamming in groups and I still don't get why, because it doesn't work. It doesn't make you stand out. So just do the opposite and be different. Be the person that comes across as a person of value and people will stick with you. Other than that, thank you so much for inviting me. I really enjoyed, being grilled and sharing some value on this podcast.
Well, I got to be honest. I really hoped I could pin you down, but you killed it. You sort of wiped the floor with me. So guys, you won. I mean, at the end of the day, list builders win because you just discovered that $100,000 a year Facebook strategy, not Facebook ad strategy. So make sure you apply this information. If you want to learn more about these tactics and get some hand holding, hit up Chiara on Facebook. I mean, that's where she is pretty much 24/7. And also, if you want to join her in her whatever she's doing as far as the business opportunity side, head over to workwithchiara.info. So, with that said, thank you so much for being here. And until next time we talk, have a good one.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The List Building Lifestyle. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play to never miss an episode. Because who knows, just one conversion tactic we share on the show might double your list and double your business. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. And don't forget to claim your complimentary copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. This is Igor Kheifets, and until next time we talk, have a good one.
This is the podcastfactory.com.